On December 5th, 2022, an account under the name Marcus Allen retweeted a tweet that said,
That is not my account, ma'am.
You haven't let me finish the question,
Might have
sir.
been a football player.
You haven't let me finish the question. And the time is mine. On December 5th, 2022, an account under the name of Marcus Allen retweeted a tweet that said, quote, Nancy Pelosi staged January 6th, retweet if you agree, end quote. Do you agree with that statement? Yes or no?
That is, I don't, no ma'am, that's not my account at all. I'm
asking whether you agree with that statement, yes or no?
Can you please rephrase the statement?
Yeah. Do you think that Nancy Pelosi staged January 6th? I just want him to answer the last question.
Yeah, he'll answer. I'm just telling you your time's up.
Do you believe that Nancy Pelosi, do you agree with the statement that this person tweeted that Nancy Pelosi staged January 6th? Yes or no?
No.
Thank you.
You know, over the last 2 years, I have often wondered, why is it we haven't seen any whistleblowers come forward? Whether that be from inside the banking sector or from one of the larger, more corrupt hedge funds that are out there right now, or from some of the bad faith actors that are supposed to be regulating these funds inside of the SEC. And I gotta say, after watching what transpired this week in the halls of Congress with the FBI whistleblowers, I think we have our answer. As of right now, it seems as though we're not gonna have any final decisions made on AMC and what's going on with our play for at least a few months. And in the meantime, I think it's important that we focus in on some of these issues that are starting to rear their ugly heads. And as this information comes out, I think it's important to get it to you guys, because eventually this could end up affecting each and every one of us. And I know that politics isn't for everyone, but I think the more that we try to bury our head in the sand and not talk about it, the problem just gets worse and worse. So tonight, I want to focus in on the testimony from the FBI this week, the so-called whistleblowers. Why is this a partisan issue? But before we do any of that and get embroiled in another political controversy,
cue the speeder.
This is the way.
good evening, beautiful people. Guys, what's going on? It is Monday, May 22nd, 2023, and that purple hair piece of work that you saw in the opening shot was Democratic Congresswoman Linda Sanchez out of the great state of California. And for some reason, she assumed that Marcus Allen, the FBI whistleblower, was not only the LA Raiders running back, but apparently a big lover of the conspiracy theory that Nancy Pelosi orchestrated January 6th. Now, whether that's the case or not, I don't know. That's up for you to decide. But before we get into the subject matter, I want to play this quick clip from Patrick Bet-David's interview with Tulsi Gabbard the other day, just so we can kind of set up the stage for what we're about to discuss. Watch.
But to go up against these guys, that a lot of people think they're evil, okay? When you look at, we'll go into this as well with the whole ESG, DEI, CI stuff. We'll go into that afterwards. But the person to go up against the establishment, how does the average voter be able to tell the difference on who that candidate is?
People's trust in the mainstream media has radically been reduced over time. I think it's probably at a historic low at this point. People's trust in our public institutions has continued to drop. Why? Because we have been lied to and cheated, and evidence has been shown how corrupt these entities have unfortunately become. So I think, how do we know? I think the first question is, if you have, often the mainstream media, they end up parroting all of the same talking points. When they're saying the very same thing about someone, like, oh, this is the best person who's ever come along, they are going to come and save the country. Me, I'd be like, well, I don't know. I'm going to dig deeper into that person. This seems kind of suspicious. And in my case, you know, they parrot the same talking points and accusations and baseless smears against me. I have heard from people who are saying, hey, I've heard them saying all this stuff about you. Doesn't seem right. I want to learn more. So I think identifying the messenger and being able to see through that facade of lies, or it's not a facade of lies, they are actually lies, but seeing through that facade to recognize the truth, or at least the need to dig deeper to learn more, I think is where we're moving in that direction. And I think we're also seeing evidence of this with people migrating more towards new media, podcasts like yours, shows like yours, and others who, you know, where they can actually gain real information and they know they're not being fed like a soundbite by soundbite, sheet of lies.
Now, if you're wondering why I included this clip in a video about defunding the FBI and what happened with the whistleblowers this week, it's because Tulsi made the point about mainstream media and the distrust that we all are starting to have with it. We know everything that's happened with the stock market and with retail traders, how we have been given the shaft for the last 2 years after all the things that we've been able to peel back from the onion and uncover to show the world, and no one seems to be taking us seriously, just as the mainstream media has spent no time covering the FBI whistleblower story, as you can see from the graphic I'm about to put up. Now, what exactly went down this week with the whistleblowers? Here's a few clips that I think you might find interesting. Watch.
Clear point, and I commend each of you for what you've done here, coming here and demonstrating who you are and letting yourself be attacked in this way, because you've borne it really remarkably well. And I think Americans need to hear it, because there are other glimpses of just how the victimization is going on and how it's victimization at scale. This is one fact that struck me. The Bank of America records, the story that Bank of America turned over the credit card transactions, whether for an aircraft or a lodging or the purchase of a cup of coffee, for everyone who decided to come to Washington, to be in Washington area, the Northern Virginia area. That's one of the things that you asked questions about. There are victims all over the place. All of the people who suffered when the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security got involved in censorship with social media platforms, millions and millions of tweets and narratives being taken down. That is victimization at scale.
And how about this one really got me? The Betsy Ross flag. Was the Betsy Ross flag in the terrorism symbol guide?
It was.
And what about the Betsy Ross flag makes someone more likely to be a violent extremist?
I wish there was a reasonable explanation for that question.
There isn't. And people blew the whistle and said, this stuff is crazy. Americans are being targeted. Mr. Friend, you ever been to a school board meeting?
Yes, I have.
FBI ever sent you to the parking lot of a school board meeting?
Yes, they have.
And in the parking lot of a school board meeting where the FBI sent you, you were taking down information regarding people's license plates.
That's correct.
Now, it wasn't the first time you'd been to a school board meeting, was it?
No, I went on my own as a private citizen.
As a parent.
Yes.
And so there you were. It must have been quite an interesting perspective. There you were taking down the information of people, parents attending school board meetings on behest of the FBI, and you had been one of those parents at a school board meeting. How did that feel?
Well, after I attended privately, my colleagues teased me that they were probably going to start investigating me.
And if all the things that they went through weren't enough proof to you that whistleblowing just isn't worth it in 2023, to add insult to injury, here was a congresswoman from Florida actually saying that these guys are not whistleblowers. Watch.
The gentlelady from Florida is recognized.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's my understanding that...
Are you making a point of order?
No, I'm asking you a question.
Okay.
A point of inquiry.
Okay.
It's my understanding that the minority in this committee under the rules is entitled to the same testimony, information, documents that the majority is entitled to. So, I mean, I'm not aware that you're able to withhold information from the minority that we would need to use to prepare for a...
When it comes to whistleblowers, you're not. And I would just remind the committee, remind everyone, look, when it comes to whistleblowers, you are not.
That's not right.
It's shocking that the
That is
gentleman.
not right.
It's shocking
And in
that the
fact,
gentleman.
you talk so much about the
Mr. Chairman,
whistleblower and the impeachment.
It's shocking that the
We gave
gentleman
you
from New
all
York
of
would
the
state
information
that
we had.
when you were part
Yes,
of an
we gave you
investigation
all
with an
of the
anonymous
information you
whistleblower.
had. We
Mr.
had.
Chairman, these
Mr.
individuals
Chairman, I
haven't been declared
can't hear
whistleblowers.
5 people at once. Could we
know.
have regular order?
Mr. Chairman,
The chair recognizes it's.
I'm inquiring, and I was not
And I've
finished
told you
inquiring.
that when it comes to whistleblowers, you are not entitled to it. That's
These
at the discretion of Mr. Allen.
Mr. Chairman, these
He said
individuals have been determined
he has
not
not
to be
agreed to that.
whistleblowers. These are not whistleblowers. They've been determined by the agency not to be whistleblowers. Are you deciding that they're whistleblowers?
Yes, the law decides. Did you not listen to Mr. Levitt's testimony? Did you not read the law? The
His
law
attorney
decides
is
that they are
asserting-
whistleblowers.
his attorney
the
is
chair
asserting that
recognizes
they are
the gentlelady
whistleblowers.
from
The
New
law
York.
has not
The
determined
gentlelady
that
from
they
New
are
York has been
whistleblowers.
recognized.
The law has not determined they are whistleblowers. His attorney is just asserting that.
And as if the damage done by the FBI towards these whistleblowers wasn't enough, they had their security clearance stripped from them. They were sent home and suspended without pay now for over a year. They also have been smeared in media campaigns. Now the people who are supposed to be defending them, when they come forward saying they aren't actually whistleblowers, they are being insubordinate to the FBI offices that they hail from. I don't know what else to say here other than if you think anyone's coming forward from the private financial sector, I would say that is a dream that will never come true. Unfortunately for us, because of what we witnessed happening within our own FBI. All right, guys, we are already running on almost 12 minutes now, so we're going to cut it here short. We're going to get into the box office, a few other things, possibly go live tonight. We can elaborate on some of the things we talked about in tonight's videos. As always, guys, thank you for all the likes, the views, the comments, my new subscribers, my OGs. I appreciate each and every one of you. We are here to break the wheel. This is Ape Nation. I'm the Massalorian, and I'm out.